Okay, so let's dive into something in crypto that might seem a little bit contradictory at first. Identity verification.
Yeah.
You want freedom and anonymity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's what crypto promises. But then you hit those KYC walls, know your customer, and it's like, wait a minute. I thought this was supposed to be different. We get it. Those checks can be a pain.
They certainly can. And it's a valid point. I mean, you set up a Web3 wallet, it's seamless, and then you go through these KYC hoops, and it's jarring.
Yeah, it feels like you're back in the old system.
Exactly. But what if those ID checks are actually crucial for protecting you?
Okay, so that's what we're going to unpack today on this deep dive. We're going to explore why identity verification matters, even in a space that's all about decentralization.
Yeah, it all starts with understanding the problem. Identity fraud is exploding. The 2024 SumSub Identity Fraud Report showed that it's more than doubled in just the past 4 years.
Doubled.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a huge jump.
That is huge.
And what's even more concerning is that fraud is becoming increasingly accessible. We're seeing the rise of fraud as a service platforms. Essentially, anyone, even without technical skills, can buy ready-made tools and services to commit fraud.
So it's like ordering identity theft off a menu.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way to put it. And that makes robust identity verification even more critical.
Okay, so let's talk about the why. How does verifying my identity actually protect me?
Well, think of it as a shield against various threats. First, it helps prevent account takeovers. If a platform knows who you are, they can detect suspicious activity and stop someone from gaining access to your funds.
Right. But what about strong passwords and two-factor authentication?
Yeah.
Aren't those enough?
Those are important layers of security, absolutely, but they don't address the root problem of identity theft itself. Imagine someone creates an account using your stolen identity. Without verification, that account could be used for all sorts of illegal activities, like money laundering, for example.
And I would be the one left dealing with the fallout.
Exactly. Verification makes it much harder for criminals to operate. And that protects everyone,
Okay.
including you.
So it's not just exchanges protecting themselves, it's them protecting us from becoming victims.
Yeah, protecting the whole ecosystem, really. So, by weeding out bad actors, exchanges can maintain liquidity, trust.
Right, because a system built on trust can thrive.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the threats. What about the tools being used to combat them? That's where AI comes in, right?
Absolutely. AI is being used on both sides, though. The fraudsters are using it, and the security experts are using it.
Right, it's a constant arms race.
It is.
I've heard about deepfakes. Are those a big concern?
They are a big concern. Deepfakes now account for 7% of all fraud attempts.
7%?
7%, yeah.
So how do we fight back against that?
Well, AI is being used to detect these deepfakes. It can pick up on subtle inconsistencies that a human eye might miss.
So like tiny distortions in a video or an image.
Exactly. It's like having an army of microscopic forensic analysts working around the clock.
Okay, well, that's reassuring. So it sounds like there's a lot of effort going into making verification more secure.
Absolutely. But it raises an important question. Can we achieve a balance between security and decentralization?
Right, because we want security, but we also want to control our data and identities.
Exactly. And thankfully, there are some exciting innovations on the horizon that could offer that balance. Things like biometric verification and zero-knowledge proofs.
I've heard about biometric verification, like fingerprint scanning, facial recognition. How could those work in a way that protects privacy?
Yeah, that's the key, right? I mean, biometric systems designed for the crypto world would need to have strong privacy protections built in. So, for example, instead of storing your actual biometric data, the system could generate a unique, irreversible code based on your fingerprint or facial features.
So the system would verify my identity without actually storing my sensitive biometric data.
Exactly.
That sounds promising.
It does. And then there are zero-knowledge proofs. This is a complex concept, but it essentially allows you to prove that you possess certain information without revealing the information itself.
Okay, I think I need an example.
Sure. Imagine you need to prove you're over 18 to access a website. With zero-knowledge proofs, you could do this without revealing your actual birth date or uploading a copy of your ID. The system would simply confirm that you possess proof of age without actually seeing the proof itself.
Okay, so it's like saying, trust me, I'm old enough. And the system can verify that without needing to see my driver's license.
Exactly. It's a way to prove things without oversharing information. And it has huge potential in the crypto world, especially for decentralized identity solutions.
Decentralized identity. Now that sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
So these solutions aim to give users complete control over their digital identities. Instead of relying on centralized authorities like governments or corporations, we can manage our own identities using blockchain technology.
So instead of having my identity scattered across various platforms and databases, I could have it all in one secure place that I control.
Exactly. You would have a verifiable digital identity that you could share selectively, only revealing the information necessary for a given transaction or interaction.
This all sounds very futuristic, but also incredibly promising. Are these solutions close to becoming reality?
They're gaining traction, and I believe they represent the future of verification. They offer a way to address the very real security concerns we've discussed, while also aligning with the decentralized ethos that drew so many people to crypto.
So instead of this being a roadblock, it's really like this necessary step towards building a more secure and trustworthy crypto ecosystem.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it.
Okay, cool. It sounds like we're on the cusp of some really exciting changes in how we think about identity and verification, not just in crypto, but potentially in the wider digital world as well.
Yeah, I think these innovations have the potential to reshape how we interact online in general.
Absolutely. So for our listeners who are navigating the crypto world, what's the one key takeaway?
Well, I think the key takeaway is that identity verification in crypto isn't just about ticking boxes. It's a vital safeguard, protecting users and the entire ecosystem from the growing threat of fraud. And as new technologies emerge, we can expect a shift towards more user-friendly and privacy-focused solutions.
So finding that sweet spot where security and user control go hand in hand.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. As we wrap up this deep dive, what's one question our listeners should be pondering as they explore the world of crypto?
How can we ensure that as the technology evolves, the core values of decentralization and user empowerment remain at the heart of the crypto ecosystem?
That is the question. Oswald, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into identity verification. We hope you found it insightful and even a little bit mind-blowing. We'll see you next time.